Got the Blitz Pro in. Surprised it actually came in on time. Actually early. It was supposed to come in on Tuesday, but came in on Saturday. So perfect, because I don't work. Like most people who got the Blitz Pro. Got this on the group buy. Pay the $100 deposit. Pay the $1,500 final payment. 2 weeks after, 2 or 3 weeks after, I asked them if I can still buy it, and they said yes. So very fortunate to have this right now. So far, my initial impression coming from the C8, the Falcon, the M10-5, this thing is huge. It's gigantic. It feels heavy. It hurts the side of your leg if you don't pad it up, which was the first thing I did. I then immediately replaced the actual pads with my friend's old one, and then I duct taped the whole thing and then put a leather wrap on it to make it look a little bit better. I then made a seat just out of the pedal covers that came in the packaging. I folded that in half, cut it into a little rectangle, and then put leather wrap around it and put Velcro on top of the wheel and then underneath it, so I can just take it on and off whenever I need to. It's surprisingly comfortable enough, especially with the suspension very plush. I have the suspension dialed at about 180 and completely soft, and I have the rebound at like 60 and completely soft on the left. This is enough for my weight and a little bit of preload when I stand on it, but it is very cushiony. I can pop off curbs without even feeling anything, but very nice to carve around. It doesn't have that bouncy suspension feel that you have with the smaller wheels, where when you carve you can just bounce left and right with it, but it makes up for it for the ability to carve very clean due to the 20-inch tires. I finally got the pads set up correctly with a little bit of pressure on the shin and heavy on the brake pads, because the last thing I want is not be able to brake with this thing. I have it pretty tight but loose enough to where if I want to ride without having to rely on the cushion or the pads for any input where you're just touching it, it's nice to be able to ride like that when you feel like it and not be completely locked in. But with this wheel, you really want to be locked in because you need almost full control over it, because the weight over 100 pounds, you can really feel it. And I've dropped it 2 or 3 times just from mounting and then having my legs just be too tired to hold up. The Blitz definitely is more of a cruiser and ability to jump on the street. I don't even like riding on the street, but with this, knowing that it's so stable and you're not gonna fall over and you can just accelerate out of any location or even just get to the side of the street and stop, doesn't seem too bad. Almost makes you feel confident enough to go on the street, and I'm not even a street person. It's summer here, so I can actually ride the streets anytime I want because there's no one on the streets. It's kind of nice. Let's talk about the size. It is massive, massive, massive. I ran into people in the hallway and they almost freaked out seeing it. They had a look of fear in their eyes for a split moment, and there was like 5 people right when I got out of the elevator, and I was sweaty from the ride, but it looked pretty intimidating. That never happens on the M10-5. This literally makes the other wheels look and feel like toys. It has such presence and heftiness to it that you have to treat this thing with respect. You can't just drop this on the ground like you can with other wheels being goofy and stuff. This can actually kill you probably. Like if you fall forward sitting down playing around, this thing spins up, whacks you in the head, you're gone. The wheel is actually very heavy. When you're mounting and unmounting, I still find it very difficult to mount it. Mostly because my legs are super tired. Actually, yeah, that's probably right, because The first day, I didn't have any trouble mounting, but for the last few hours, I could not mount for shit. It was very painful. I'm actually gonna let my legs rest for maybe a day, at least until tomorrow afternoon. I feel great about this purchase, and I don't have a fear of bigger wheels now, knowing that I can click with it. You know, when you get that ability to accelerate and brake and just carve, and it all fits and you're not really fighting it, that's the feeling you get with this wheel. I think because it's so light, it feels light compared to the size of the wheel, the tire itself, because it feels like the C8 but much more stable and can handle the terrain much better. I was able to get the suspension dialed in where there's enough bounce and there's enough rebound where I don't feel like I sunk into the ground, where I'm kind of bouncing off the ground and then I'm not slowly being dragged up, I'm kind of bouncing up. So I'm just at that point. So I think I'm gonna sit at this suspension for a little bit and see how it feels, because it feels nice. I can bottom it out on the bottom of a little hill. Like if you're about to pop up a little bump, you can bottom it out, but I want mine very plush, so bottoming it out like that is not a big deal. And going downstairs wasn't an issue either. The look of it is amazing. It just looks like a well-built machine. It looks real. It looks like a real device that belongs on the street because of its size, and the lights pretty bright enough where I think during the day you can see a little bit of it, but at night it's really nice. So at just 25 miles, it's been a blast. It's been very difficult. My leg is extremely tired. I'm very sore. I tweaked my back pulling that giant thing out of the box, and I know I need rest. I feel overstimulated, but I am going to enjoy this wheel probably for the next few days heavily, and summer is perfect for this time because there's nobody around and I'm gonna really be able to squeeze some miles out of this. The Blitz Pro big boy wheel is definitely something that has completely changed my view on the EEC realm. Big wheels are where it's at. Once you get used to the big wheel and you get over the initial soreness and exhaustion and the heavy weight of it, then it feels amazing. I'm at 50 miles, but 50 hard miles. Like I'm talking about carving, jumping off curbs, and just heavy acceleration and deceleration, but to like 25 miles per hour. Not really trying to push this thing yet until I know that it's safe. I showed it around to my coworkers. I told them about this wheel a few months ago, and they definitely are impressed by it. They look at it and they go, "Oh my God, that is ridiculous. You're gonna kill yourself." That may or may not be true. It is ridiculous. This wheel is crazy. It's gigantic. I can stand over it and I'm already saddling it. I'd have to say the lights on this thing looks amazing. The strip of RBG rainbow light, it's really bright. So like when I bring it indoors, that's like the first thing people see. And then my coworker even thought that it's thinner than the C8 because of the lights. It's narrow, so he even thinks it's more narrow, and probably because it's taller as well. The trolley handle is very difficult. It's very difficult to move around because of the weight, but I think if you just strengthen your wrist and be able to just grab real hard, you'll get used to it. I'll probably put some leather around the handle as well to make it easier to grip. The weight of it when mounting and unmounting, many times I nearly fell with it on the first 2 days of riding. I'd say today's the third day, so 50 miles in, third day, really able to swing it around now, feeling really confident in it already, which is surprising because it's so heavy. I did get wobbles a few times, but going low speed, like at 15 miles per hour, and I think that was mostly because my legs are so tired, it's already noodle. I took it my normal route commute and it didn't seem too big, but I can see that if there's a lot of people, it would look like. It feels big, takes up a lot of space. I can't get into the same narrow areas without like really making sure I can fit, but I think I'll get used to that over time. I've added more pads to it, and it feels good. It feels good now. The first day it really pushed against the side of my knee a lot, and I padded it up the first day, but at this point the side of my knee has just gotten used to it and accustomed to it now. Carving this thing on long 20-mile-per-hour curves it feels nice. I didn't even feel it wanting to tip back over like you would get on like a C8 or that size tire, where you're going and it wants to straighten up, so you have to kind of like readjust. This you can just float through effortless, and that must be due to the 20-inch wheel and the power it gets. It honestly feels like the C8. I mean, once you get used to it and you get used to the acceleration, braking, I can almost pendulum it, but it's so gigantic that it takes so much effort to move forward and back, because you have to throw your weight into it to get it to go forward and back. Braking on it, I'm like almost touching the ground when I'm leaning all the way back. I feel like, I thought it was silly, those people who like lean all the way back and they can like touch the ground with their hands. I can pretty much lean all the way back as well, but I am concerned that I'm gonna lean back so hard I'm not gonna be able to get back up. I'm probably gonna ride the Blitz until I really master it and get that conditioning down before I ride the Falcon or the C8 again. Just really want to get as much time on the road and on the tire, on the wheel as much as possible. My body is finally getting less sore. Like, I would wake up with a sore back and my legs just completely gone. But I feel good now, surprisingly. So hopefully I can do a few more runs tonight. One of my favorite part right now is being able to sit down. Like, when I'm leaning back, I'm already basically in a sitting position because I'm so short. I'm like leaning back. All I need to do is just wiggle my toes, not my toes, my heel forward and twist it out, and I'm in sitting position. Even in long corners, I am, if I'm taking like a long left curve, my right leg actually sits on top of the pad, so I'm also kind of using that for support, so I can carve pretty hard with that. Alright, that is it for now. Just wanted to get you guys an update at 50 miles. Alright, wanted to make a video about the difference between my wheels and going into a big wheel, especially coming from little wheels the last 3 years. Started with the A2 and then outgrew that after the 30 mile per hour cutout and got a T4. Got 6,000 miles on that before I had to get rid of it because I just did not trust it anymore. It's still running around. Someone has it right now locally. The suspension on it broke after 500 miles, so it was really fun just riding it without suspension. My commute was pretty easy, so it wasn't that hard to find the smoothest line and not, get into curves and stuff. I couldn't even go down curves with it. After the T4, I got the C8. Oh no, I got the M10.5, and then I got the C8, and then I got the Falcon. So they had really good deals. The C8 was $1,450 for the 50S. The M10.5 was $1,000 or $950, and that came in these all came within 4 or 5 days, which is nice. And then the Falcon. I didn't get the 50S because that was a little bit out of my budget for what I want. And I do like riding the Falcon. A lot of the skills transfer from the M10.5 to the Falcon, and then the Falcon to the C8, and then the C8 to the Blitz Pro. The Blitz Pro, the torque and the acceleration and the braking and the responsiveness, the high power and the higher voltage definitely gives it a more instant feeling than the other voltage, it seems like, or at least the other wheels. I bet you a Falcon 50s would probably have that same instant feeling due to the weight to power ratio. The M105P definitely has the fastest response time though. Like it's so zippy in the hallways. I'm just like going from side to side versus the Falcon, which I can kind of carve in there in the hallway. The C8, you just want to go straight, and the Blitz Pro, that thing, you cannot fuck around in the hallway. There's no space. It's kind of like if you jump up and down, wherever your feet lands, move it a little bit further out, and that is like the position of the Blitz, because it's so tall and wide that it splits your leg open. And usually I like my heel touching the wheel on the inside, but it's kind of more positioned outward and further away from the wheel, because you physically can't twist your leg in without bending your knees inward. But for sure, all the wheels, depending on the size and the power to size ratio, which I think all my wheels have like very similar, because the M105P, very strong. That thing can launch you to 25 in an instant. The Falcon, it'll get you there as well. The C8 can get you to 35 real quick. And the Blitz Pro, that thing, the way I'm standing on it, it's already like accelerating. It's already a default position of 15 miles per hour. I'm just standing there without putting any weight anywhere. I'm kind of going like 15 miles an hour. So if I'm just trying to be slow in the hallway, I'm actually like kind of leaning back. I'm having to put pressure on my back heel because the default position is acceleration. So my pads are very, very close. It doesn't give you much angle to bend your knees. I found that bending your knees up and down that much, especially on a wheel this heavy, I was exhausted after like stopping 5 to 6 times. Just stopping alone. But now I found the perfect center of balance where I can just balance on the tip, right? Like just barely put any pressure forward. I'm already going 25, and then when I'm braking, I can now easily brake and just sit down. Just put your butt down, and you're just braking automatically. I do feel a bit dramatic when I'm riding, because it takes a lot of effort to really move your body around on this. So like, I'm definitely feeling like I'm exaggerating my body movement, but I'm really just trying to ride it. But I do feel like that's gonna go away probably in the next day or two. I'm getting a little bit more comfortable in being able to find those micro adjustments. That way I'm not having to like move my arms to get my torso in one direction, or move my shoulder to get my body going another direction. But I am having a lot of fun slanging it around left and right, just carving. I can definitely carve now. And I don't think you know what carving feels like until you carve on a like an 18 to 20 inch tire wheel. Because what it feels like is it's carrying you, and you're just kind of steering it now, right? Like you're on it, it's carrying you, it's pulling you with it. And if you're locked in enough, you really feel like you're in a roller coaster, right? You put all your strength into your stability, into your core to be able to hold that static position. And it just feels like you're one solid piece with it once you're able to connect. And from there, you can just carve, and it's very predictable. The first day or two, I had a hard time being able to stop at a good distance, but now I can yank on the brake as hard as I want and just get it to stop as fast as possible. I think the next day or two, my body's really gonna not be sore, because today was a pretty good day. I feel not sore right now. I'm just exhausted. This thing is exhausting, and work has been exhausting today, so double that up. I'm gonna spend the next few days just really getting that carve down and being able to just get it to carve around the park much smoother. Because right now I feel like I'm 80% there. Like I've been working out too, so I've been trying to gain some mass and eating protein. So definitely feel much stronger, and definitely glad I did that. But hopefully in the next few days I can really push it. I think I can tap into its power. So good luck to me. Alrighty, it's been about a week since I got the Blitz Pro and have a few thoughts about having or introducing a big wheel into your life. Didn't think I would ever buy something this ridiculous. When I tried the EX30, when I first got the A2 a few years back, I was thinking, no way, this is something this big, not needed in my life. But watching people be very capable and fast and nimble with the ability to do everything I can do on my small wheels made me realize, that's the next level. I'd say I have about 10,000 miles of EUC riding, mostly urban environment, very short distance. 90% of it is just going to work or riding around campus when I'm bored. After a week on the Blitz Pro, I'd have to say getting around is very easy. I would say it's the difference from riding around on a small bicycle versus being able to get around anywhere on like an electric bike. I don't even ride the streets and fear other cars, but when I have this, I feel like I can just jump on the street and stay behind them, or even in front if I know I can get out of the way in time and it's like a 20-mile-per-hour street. So it gives you a confidence that isn't there when you have a small wheel. Like when you have a small wheel and you're kind of in a rush or in a minor emergency to get out of the way, there's a anxiety you get that you can probably get away and get out of the way and get to where you need to be. But with the small wheel, you don't have the luxury of just powering through something. With the Blitz, when you get in a situation, you can just go through any road surface, is what I'm trying to say. Like if there's like little potholes or uneven ground or broken pavement, the Blitz, the 20-inch wheel just goes over it without you even having to think. But with an M10.5, you really have to think about your surrounding, your immediate surrounding, because it's a little divot in the street is equivalent to like a giant pothole for a Blitz. There's been a few times where I hit a little bump on the M10.5 and like I get squirrely like on a landing, or it twists my ankle in a way where it almost overpowers my ankle. That's the same with the Falcon and the C8. I think because of the points on your leg, the contact is so low, like closer to your ankles and down your calves, that you actually have to have a stronger ankle to hold it together versus the Blitz. It comes up to almost my kneecap. So I'm using my whole side of my leg to keep it stable. And that stability is able to get you through any situation quick and fast. And the wheel is very predictable. It's so big that when you're going one direction or another, you have a little bit of time to get to it. So you almost have a little bit of time to look ahead. With the smaller wheels, I feel like I'm very, I don't choose my lines until the last minute, because you can just switch off your line real quick. With the Blitz Pro or anything bigger, you really have to commit to your line. And if you do have to abort your line, you better be ready, because it's a big giant wheel to immediately disrupt its current trajectory. I usually leave my wheel in the bottom floor, right into the entrance of my office, which is a little area that is it's away from the public and only people who are in the office can see. But I would have to bring it down the stairs, and I don't think I want to roll this down the stairs at all. One, I would never leave it on and roll it down the stairs again. One time the T4 almost ripped my shoulder off when it lost when I lost traction on the stairs and it just started spinning out of control and nearly dislocated my shoulder. I don't even remember how I got it to calm down. Moving this giant beast around, you really have to be aware, because if you don't pay attention, it can easily lean one way, and 100 pounds leaning one direction off the center of balance and you're already leaning over, moving the wheel, it can easily fall. Like, I almost dropped it a few times just moving it around. So I did spend a good minute or two holding the handles and just moving it around, it being off, and just turning it, moving it, giving it different directions. That way my body can understand the dynamic of the wheel even when it's off. It's worth it to spend a little time doing that. I think of my body as machine learning, right? It's no difference than how AI learn. You give it different situation, different experience, and it just gets downloaded into your subconscious or your nervous system, or whatever, the combination of both. The presence of this is just unreal. Everybody I know, like my coworkers and people I see on campus that I run into pretty often, they see this and they are shocked by how big it is. It weighs almost as much as I do, and with the padding and all that, probably adds a good 10 pounds. But people are surprised when they see me ride this, because I feel very fluid on it, right? Like, it doesn't look like I'm out of control. I'm not completely in control right now, but I can ride it in a way where it doesn't look like I don't know what I'm doing, if that makes sense. You can tell that I'm new to the current wheel I'm on, just because I'm not like super confident, but they are still impressed because it's a giant ass wheel and it has really nice lights, and as soon as you get close to it, the lights really shows up. Something about the rainbow light is just really cool. I like the Tron lights and I always rode it with the red light and not the rainbow, but this one, I had the red light the first day and then I turned on the rainbow and it looks amazing. Honestly, if the race had this same LED light, I would probably buy it. I would buy it, sell this, or put a knobby on it, and then just keep the race as a street tire. I would imagine the Blitz would be epic with the knobby tire. The pedal clearance is pretty good. It's very high. Usually I don't like high pedal clearance, but honestly, when I ride a high pedal wheel like the Falcon and this, I love it. It's one of those feelings where, like, oh, I'm the type of person that likes to ride lower cars, and my T4 had no suspension. It was lowered basically, but being tall, there's a different aspect of it. It feels like you have a little bit more control and a little bit more ability to accelerate, and that's probably because the pedal is near or above where the motor axis is. Fortunately, I feel like I have a good reputation at work, because when I first started working, I had a electric scooter, and that thing went 40 miles per hour. And I was flying everywhere on the street because the acceleration to 40 is nearly instant. It just feels like I had the front wheels peeling out everywhere I went, and I had to replace the front wheel like 3 times because they were actually PMT racing tires. So I swapped it out for actual racing tires. I did that for a good year, and pretty much everyone at work settled into understanding that I ride an electric scooter. So getting the electric unicycle was not that much more surprising, just because the A2 is tiny, small, and looks safe relatively compared to anything bigger. I took that A2 all over campus. When I first started here, I ended up going to almost every building to do their building upgrade on their network, and I brought this A2 everywhere. So it pretty much was outside every building I worked at, and half the time I didn't even lock it up. I just leaned it against the wall nearby, mostly because I would be in and out in like 2 minutes, not 2 minutes, but enough where I'm not worried about it, and it's most of the time in the open. This is also probably the safest city you can think of. It's unreal how safe this city feels on a day-to-day basis. That gives me the opportunity to ride anywhere, anytime, any time of the day too. Like 2, 3, 4 in the morning, no big deal. There's been many on-call incidents where I had to go out on call and ride my A2 or T4 out and about. The last time that happened was on my Falcon. I had to do an upgrade at like 12 o'clock in the morning and I got flooded out. So the Falcon even got me through a flood at 3 o'clock in the morning. And then heading back home, you just have to go through all these drunk people who are heading home as well, which is also fun. Funny enough, the most anxiety I have about the wheel isn't even like getting it, buying it, or whatever. It's being delivered to my apartment office. Having a 110-pound box being sent to the office and then them having to let me know that it's ready to be picked up. It's always an ordeal. It's giant, heavy. I have to go to the back with them to help lift this thing into my little wagon. Yeah, I bought an actual wagon just to pick up my EUC from the front office. It's been indispensable already. I bought it when I got the Falcon because I knew it was going to be big. The C8, I was like, okay, I'm not going to be able to carry that thing in. The last time I tried to carry the Falcon box in, I nearly snapped my back. But I got it for the C8, so it worked perfect for the Falcon. And then for the Blitz, it barely fit in the box. Got it in there, nearly bending the whole frame. Getting it into my house, I was knocking things over. It's just a gigantic box. And unboxing and taking it out of the box was pretty heavy. I wish I took a little bit more time to take it out of the box because that hurt my back. I think on the second day, I was getting out of the elevator and there was a group of family probably looking around the apartment. I don't know if they were with the apartment manager or not, but as soon as I got out of the elevator and the elevator door opened, there was a group of people waiting to come in. So, there's always that surprise look. But I think they were really surprised because they saw me, they saw this giant ass wheel about to come out of the elevator, so they had to kind of scoot back as they were about to go in, when you're waiting for an elevator. So that was my first experience with people in the hallway. And I really don't think, I can ride the C8 through the hallway, and if there's other people coming the other direction, there's enough room. I don't know if there's enough room with the Blitz. I think I would have to actually get off it, hold it, and then walk it past them and then get back on. I don't know, we'll see. My last thought of the day for this wheel, this giant ass beast of a wheel, is everyone's gonna stare at it. You're gonna have to tell them that your eyes are up here because that thing is massive. It has really crude lights and no one's ever seen something like this, like in real life, right? Like I've never saw anything this gigantic besides like a Sherman or something. But even then, that was rare and only on group rides. So if you're gonna ride this, everyone's gonna be looking at you. You're gonna garner a lot of attention, way more than any other small wheel. So if you have a giant wheel, expect a lot of attention and expect your AV move to be analyzed. So don't be fucking around and being dangerous. You can fuck around and have fun, but the point where it's no longer fun for anybody is when you endanger others by being too close to pedestrians and just flying by them. There's a huge hate among pedestrians against electric scooters and bicyclists because they just don't care about pedestrians, right? They just fly through them and almost hit them. A lot of people got hit. Everyone here has a story about getting hit or almost hit, or with a car, or in person walking with an electric scooter, because they have rental VOs here and these VOs are everywhere. Especially during football games and events. You get people from out of town jumping on these scooters and they're crazy. It's insane. On the weekends here, during events, it is a fucking jungle. It's so crazy that I don't even go out. Maybe now that I have the Blitz, I might go out a little bit more at night, just because you can actually go very slow on it, and it looks narrow. It looks small from the lights. If you're looking at it from a distance, you can't tell because everything else is black on it, that it's pretty thick. So the lines give it a look that is not as thick as it actually is, because it is very wide. Okay, that's enough for the day. I just felt like I needed to end the week with how my experience with it was on a personal basis, because if I don't do this, I'm definitely gonna forget. Have a good weekend. I don't plan on making any more videos this weekend because I am pretty tired and I just want to ride very hard. But who knows? I probably will, actually.